Alright, so now we're out here in the garage where I've been spending a lot of time lately getting ready for this big tank upgrade. So this is my Frag tank. I need to clean the glass on it, but this has been set up out here for a while. It actually has a 150 watt metal halide on one side and which I used to use the 150 watt radium bulbs, but those aren't available anymore, so I think it's got a Geisman megachrome bulb or something like that. This is a homemade LED system that I made on the other side that has a whole bunch of colors. It's Cree LEDs, and I was doing it to experiment with SPS coloration under LEDs, and my conclusion was that even with all those bulbs to create a full spectrum, I still can't get the right kind of colors out of Acropora that I like under metal halides. So this tank is actually tied to the same sump in there. So one of my next chores is to actually take it and tie it into my temporary holding system here instead of that sump. That'll be done hopefully this week. Here's my calcium reactor down here. As you can see, my pump is kind of leaking there. I need to do something about that. But I have one of the aquariumplants.com regulators, highly recommended, and a geocalcium reactor, the 6x24, which was actually running pretty hard for my 120 gallon tank with this 40 gallon Frag tank. I may end up needing to upgrade it eventually when I have my new tank's going to be about 300 gallons. Okay, so over here, this is what I've set up to hold all my corals and fish and live rock when I get that 120 gallon tanks broken down. So these are, each one of these tubs, there's two of these, are 110 gallon horse watering troughs. You can see I'm dripping a little calc into one here, and I just recently got them all tied together. There's a pump back in there, maybe too dark to see. It's back in there. There's a pump. I can move this piece of wood that is drawing water from the left side here and pumping it across. You can see I built a little manifold here that's gonna be used to feed the calcium reactor and the carbon media reactor. And coming over here, I've got a ball valve to control the flow rate, a bunch of wires in the way. This is an old chiller that I took out of service, but it still works, so it is being used temporarily, because even in early March, we've had some days where it's hit 80 around here, and this water's started to heat up in the garage with no AC out here. I live in Texas, by the way, Houston. Alright, so this, you can see this one doesn't have much in it yet, just a couple pieces of live rock and some Kato and a couple of corals I threw in there that came off the sand bed of my main tank. This one over here actually has one fish in it, a little McCosker's wrasse. I don't know if I'll be able to get it on here or not, but quite a few acros you can see I put in there already. The left side over here has a deep sand bed. I think I put 4 bags of sand, maybe 5 in this tub. This one only has 2 bags of sand, so it's a little more shallow. So my plan is to put all the most of the SPS corals over on this side on the right, the clam, and most of the live rock will go over here on the left with the sand bed. And these are the lights over here right now are 250 watt halides. These are my old setup, which was double-ended 250 watt metal halides. And they're doing fine right now. I will probably bring over my lights from the main tank once once I get that broken down, and possibly overall the one with all the SPS corals, I'll actually have this 250 and one of the 250s from the main tank to get plenty of light for those guys. For in circulation, these tubs, I have some WP-40s, which I got on a group buy a while back. Really nice, inexpensive little pumps. One of my concerns is I'm gonna have to keep that bubble tip from getting caught in any of the intake strainers or anything, so that may be a little bit of a challenge. Have to get some foam or sponges to cover things. Alright, well, I'll try to update this periodically as I go through the process. As you can see, my garage is a complete mess right now. Got my workbench there that the tubs are under and the lights are hanging from. It's got the metal halide ballast up there. Go over here, and the frag tank, the calcium reactor. There's that little 29-gallon glass aquarium in the corner actually is top off water for the main tank with a mixed calc in there. Here we have my Frankenstein RO system that I've had forever, but just replaced the filters on it. I've been making a lot of water for water changes, and as I filled up these tubs out here, this is a mixing container over here for fresh salt water. Alright, so I will try to update this as I make progress, if I can. It's going to be a lot of work. It's already been a lot of work.